Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of the Dom Joseph Podcast. I think we made it to the 170s. 170. Thank you guys so much for being here. We've got a lot to cover today. Very excited to be here. So let's go ahead and get right into this episode and just let's have a good time. It's been a minute since I've been recording, and to be honest with you, it used to be like every week, and I'm not trying to say that it's gonna like not be like that every week, but we're back and we got a lot of stuff to cover. I've been actually kind of traveling a little bit, been doing a lot of other stuff, kind of started more classes, which is actually kind of a shocker because here's the thing, I thought I was done with classes forever. I graduated here just last year, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just stop. And, just keeping on going, I think that's good. It keeps your brain occupied. I think recently, to be honest with you, I've been kind of a victim of the brain rot. I think this brain rot stuff is actually true. So what I mean by that is everybody has TikTok, everyone has Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, YouTube. Either one of those. Everyone's like, well, I don't got TikTok. It's like, well, you're scrolling on YouTube. So basically, I've caught myself at this point just so addicted to my phone that it's getting insane. And it's not even that I'm like checking my notifications more so like, oh, someone texted me. It's more like I open the phone and the first thing I go to is TikTok. Then I just start scrolling. And after minutes and minutes and hours almost, basically hours, you start to feel like you don't even know what you're watching. And, I feel like that too with my content. Like when I put it out there, is this like the breaking point someone's going to have when they're just done? Like, oh man, Dom's on here again. I'm turning this off. That's what I feel like it's getting to. You never know what someone gets off their phones for. They could be getting called to do dishes. They can be getting called to do certain things, or, maybe football season's around and you got to start going to the pumpkin patch with the girlfriend, because that's creeping around. And just so you know, like it's, we all like to be excited for all the falls here, falls that. But sometimes you have to sacrifice some Sundays to go to the pumpkin patch. And, I'm not necessarily like hating on that, but there is some people who are definitely probably not pumpkin fans. Like I know there's probably people like pumpkin phobia who people just aren't fans of it. I kind of like picking pumpkins, to be honest with you. The fall season's here. We just got like kind of a little influx of rain here in Seattle, and it feels a little real, like fall is here. We do have like I think some more like hot days coming up, like semi-hot days, but something about when the fall's hitting, it's a different time. And when I go to the pumpkin patch, I like to get like the somewhat tall pumpkins, like the tall and skinny ones, but the short and round ones still, they have my heart too. But the a little bit taller ones, it's a little bit easier, and you can like put your arm inside the pumpkin and get more seeds. Like that's how I thought of it. Like the round ones definitely probably have seeds too, but making pumpkin seeds has always been like a fun part of going to the pumpkin patch for me. But I'll be honest, the last couple of years I get pumpkins, I'd paint them. And yes, painting pumpkins is like, some people don't think it's real. Some people will be like, you paint your pumpkins, you don't even carve them. Here's the thing about painting your pumpkin. You don't got to clean up anything. No garbage bags got to come up. You don't got to spend like the $19 on the carving kits, and it's easier. It's just painting. But the thing is with the carving thing, you're down, you got to pay for the pumpkin, then you got to pay for the carving set, unless you saved your carving set. And I don't really know many people who actually keep their carving set. I just throw them away. Everyone gets the carving sets every year for their pumpkins, and everyone loses it by the next year. You can lie to yourself, oh, we're going to put it in this Walmart bag, and we're going to put it under the sink. Nobody ever keeps it. Eventually it gets thrown out in like the spring. But if you're one of those people who do manage to keep your pumpkin carving set, you should run for like local mayor. Like I'm not going to say you should run for president because, it's not that important. It's not that impressive, but it's a little bit more impressive at the, the city level or the county level. So yeah, I think that's the qualifications you need. I think that's one of the qualifications you need to run for mayor is like you have to be able to keep one of your carving sets from the prior year and use it effectively. I think that is one of like the objectives. Make sure to check that out in your local county. I don't really know many other counties other than the ones I'm in. That's another thing. County maps are like lines everywhere. All of a sudden, I was driving actually back from this hike, and we drove through this town, and it was like a certain county, and it had like 58 people. And I'm like, who comes back and runs this? That's where my mind goes through. And they probably think about that about the res too, because you know what? The res has politics. You know, they have the certain family who thinks like, do you know who my dad is? Do you know who my auntie is? No, I don't know who your auntie is. You know, like that. I'm just trying to grab a Gatorade and just, you know, it was 2 for $3, and I'm trying to just get it. Like, just pay for it. You know, I feel like you'll hear, you know who my auntie is, out of nowhere. You could literally just be hanging out at the beach. You got the semi-good spot. You know, you set up, and then someone walks up to you, hey, this is my spot. And you're like, no, I was here first. They're like, you know who my auntie is? I was here first, bro. Like, all of a sudden, you got people saying, you know who my family is. No, this is the last Gatorade. This is mine. Well, you know who my auntie is? You should go up down the road then. Go off the res and go pay $4 for another Gatorade. I'm not trying to fight around about this. That's how it is. Oh. Well, I'm going to have to tell that to the board. Go ahead, tell the board. They ain't even going to be there. Tell them what? You're going to go into their office? Go tell them that something's not going right? Good luck finding them. They ain't fucking there. You know, that's how it is. Well, you know, it always starts with that well. Everyone always complains about something. And let me preface by saying, you know, I got to put my hands up to the board or whoever, you know, people in leadership. I know it's like a difficult job and all, but, you know, it's not, I'm sure it's not as easy as it sounds. You know, this goes for every board director, whatever you want to say. But at the same time, hey, the people need something, you got to help it or address it. And, but there also comes from the other level. I don't want to say lower level because that's not right either. You start saying lower level and higher level with board people, I don't like that. Because you start saying that, you're almost looked at as someone who's lower. Another level, that's what it is. Another means they could be point A to point B, point B to point F. There ain't no level. It's just like, you know, when you're playing Fall Guys and it's just like the flat level, flat terrain. That's what it is. They're just on another side of it. That's how I think of it. It's like, hey, you know, you got some votes under your name. You got some people supporting you. I got people supporting me too in certain ways. You know, like people like, hey, we support you going to school. You know, count them. That's what it is. We all have people supporting us. So a lot of people say, oh, the board directors, the only people got people supporting them, voting for them. You got a lot of little eyes watching you, man. A lot of little eyes doing things, motivating. Not even little eyes, maybe older eyes too, elder eyes. Elder eyes are a little bit more like, oh, dang, I should really fix my ways. But so are the little eyes. You start going, I think it's time to sober up. You know, you start, it starts getting harder to wake up Monday mornings, man. Monday mornings start haunting you a little bit differently when you get older. And here's the thing, like, you know, you get your full-time job and you think like, oh, this is going to solve all my problems. I'm going to be getting paid every 2 weeks. I have my routine. But then you're like, dang, my routine is literally just work. Like, I just get up, go to work, and then my weekends I have 2 days, and like my Saturday is like what I want to do, and my Sunday is like pumpkin patch day or laundry day, and all of a sudden it's Monday again. And that's just kind of like how it goes. I mean, that's not the lifestyle for everybody, though. Some other people can't imagine that, and they would rather kind of get by a little bit and just kind of create stuff and not have to worry about their time, because you know what? Time is our most valuable asset. So I've been doing a lot of stuff, been traveling a little bit to kind of digress a little bit. You know how it goes in this pod, and we kind of get a little soapy there for a minute, and then we dry off and we start talking about other stuff. But yeah, when I was driving through that, to kind of sector back a little bit, when I was going through that hike and we were driving back, we drove by this factory. And factories, they always, they have lots of people there who work there. It's outside, people, forklifts or whatever. I just want to know honestly, this is an honest question. How much of the factory workers use the basketball hoop that's outside the factory? Because I know, like it's there, and I don't think I've ever seen it in person. Like I've seen it on videos or TikToks or whatever, but I've never seen it in person, someone outside actually shooting. And I feel like they're like, let's just get a basketball hoop. We'll play, have our tournaments. And I just never see them. Maybe it's because it's at lunch. But that's like a question I had for the public. So if you're a factory worker and you go outside and shoot hoops on like the Walmart hoop that you guys bought, I just want to know if it's actually used. That's for sure, and like, I don't know. I don't get it. Just like I said with the pumpkin things, I don't get that either. I don't get it. I don't get saving it. And it's always that this is the time of year when I start getting guilty or I start getting blamed. Who had the pumpkin carving kit? Where'd it go? And I'll be honest, I'm a guy who declutters things. I'm like, we're not going to use that. I'm just going to throw it away or donate it. That's me. That's who I am. At my heart, I'm someone who's trying to, just make things clean. I'm coming from a good place, but that's how it is. You're getting yelled at. Where's the pumpkin carving set? What? I remember putting it away. I don't know. Did you check the closet? Yeah. Oh, I swear I remember putting that away. I thought you knew. That. Yeah, I remember putting that away. Yeah, I haven't seen it. And when was the last time you seen it last? Yeah, I remember putting that one away. I don't know what to tell you about that. That's how it is. Where's the pumpkin carving set? It beats me. I remember putting that away. It's not my responsibility. But that's how it is. Responsibilities come quick, man. Responsibilities come and bite you. It's just like doing laundry on Sundays. Here's the thing. Here's the honest truth. I'll tell you guys all who's listening. There's, people in certain households that do the laundry. And I got to put my hands up to them. And I'm putting my hands up to myself here because I kind of do bulk of the laundry here. Because I like to have clean clothes all the time. I've been kind of ironing stuff a little bit more, but I'm not that old yet. I'm not ironing every day. It's like every other week. But I'm going to get to that point where it's every day. If I'm doing laundry, to be honest with you, if I'm doing laundry, I'm grabbing the good socks. And people say, where are all the good socks? They're in my drawer. Because if I'm going to sit here and do the laundry and no one's helping me, I'm grabbing the best socks out of the laundry thing. And that's honest. Because if someone doesn't want to help with laundry, hey, good on you. That's fine. You're doing some other things. Maybe doing another chore. I'm doing the laundry. If I'm doing the laundry and you're not helping me, I'm grabbing the good socks. That's just how it is. That's my payment. And if there's... You know what? I will say if there is change below $5, I'll pocket it. But if it's above $5, I give it back. I like to think that's like a good part of me, a good Samaritan part of me. Like if it's under $5, I'm pocketing it. But if it's a $20 bill, $100 bill, that ain't right. That's like, someone can eat with that. $5, like I said before in other pods, I don't know what you can get for $5 anymore. Like if somebody said, here, Dom, here's $5, I'd be like, okay, I can go get probably a Kit Kat at the gas station for like $4 maybe. And, if someone gave me a $5 bill, and maybe this is the gambling in me, I'd go buy a scratch ticket. That's really the best odds to get anything with $5 now. Because you can't go buy anything with food anymore to go. If someone says, hey, why don't you go buy a bowl of rice from the local Chinese restaurant, probably be $1. No, it's probably like $5.29, to be honest with you. That's just how things are. If somebody said, hey, $5 to last you throughout the day, here you go. Do as much as you can with this $5. I'm gambling it. You know what? I'm putting $5 on Malik Neighbors getting a touchdown on Thursday Night Football, and that's what I would do. Beats me. If I'm not doing anything with $5. $10, I feel like I could be like, all right, I can probably eat something with this. $5, you used to be able to get Subway or whatever, maybe even a Little Caesars pizza. Now you can't get nothing. That's my thing. If we gotta at least get stuff back to $5. That's the thing with inflation. You know, everyone says, oh, groceries are super expensive, which they are. But if we can just get things for like at the consumer level for $5 again, I'm happy. You know what? I'll deal with the rent. I'll work or whatever, you know, because I understand you got to work to pay your rent. But if we can get things back to $5 again, I think we're in good shape. To be honest, to be honest. I just want to see things that are $5 again. That's it. But yeah, you know, with traveling, you know, there's always people who are flying to kind of change subjects. And here's the thing, you know, the first airline we all see is Spirit, and then you see Frontier. And here's the thing about Frontier. The thing about Frontier is that it's all I think about the difference between Frontier and Spirit is basically Frontier just has a semi-cooler name, and I think the green is a little bit cooler than the yellow. That's it. Otherwise, they're the exact same. The customer service I don't like. They're always canceling flights, and they're always charging you for everything. So if you're ever like in-dimensional, like, oh, what's the difference between Spirit and Frontier? I think Frontier's better. I think Spirit's better. They're the same. They're just different colors and different, you know, semi-cooler name. That's it. And yeah, I'm saying Frontier is a semi-cooler name because you know what? I think Spirit, when you're in the air, I think it's kind of it's like a pun name. What are people's thoughts about pun names with restaurants or anything? You know, like faux shizzle. What do you think of that? Like, is that funny to you, or would you actually go there? There's a Thai restaurant that's somewhat near me. It's called the Bengal Tiger. So you get it, Thai restaurant Tiger. Name kind of goes hard. I'll be honest. The food there necessarily isn't the best. But yeah, that's just how it is. I actually had a bad case of food like a couple of weeks ago, and I felt like I had to go to the clinic for it. And I think going to the clinic's good. You know, everybody has to go to the clinic. But I mean, the food settled or whatever, I was fine. But I went for a checkup at the clinic. And here's the thing: when you go to the like a checkup at any clinic, especially on the res, and it's just like a regular one, like a sports physical, I feel like that's more embarrassing than going there when you're sick. Because when you're sick and you go into the clinic, you're like, dude, I'm fucking sick. I'm not talking to nobody. I feel like you got like these sick mode glasses on where it's just like nobody, you don't even care if you see them because you're like, dude, I'm just here to get help. But when you go there and you're like, you know, just getting a checkup, I feel like it's weird. You know, like I just feel like, and maybe that's like because we aren't used to preventative care, maybe. On the res, I don't know. I don't know if that's right to say anymore because it's 2024 and I don't want people to take offense to like, oh, I'm saying we don't do preventative stuff anymore, but that's me. So, I mean, I thought I was going somewhere with it, but you never want to see anybody at the res clinic. I swear I see everybody I know, though, when I go. Or the local, like the closest Walmart to the res, bro, you're seeing at least 10 people you know. That's just how it is. On my res, we have a Walmart on the res. And I guarantee you, if you go there, anytime you will see somebody you know. Walking in, walking out. In the bread aisle, in the toy aisle. You know, you see 15 kids that you used to chaperone. In the electronics aisle, you go to go grab a piece of paper for your printer. All of a sudden, there's your teacher there. It's just how it goes. I mean, I don't understand it, but it's how it is. What else? Oh yeah. So I've been in this class, you know, with everyone's reading again. You got to do the readings. And you know, there's nothing more awkward than when somebody's just like, "Hey, do you guys do the reading?" and everyone's just quiet. It's like obviously nobody did. I'll be honest, I was the kid who'd be like, "Well, I kind of did," and then everyone looks at you. So now here's the situation. A, you're going to somewhat sound like you read. B, you're going to totally fall on your face and make it look like you didn't read. Or C, you're going to impress people with your BSing. And to be honest with you, I'd like to think I fall into the C category. But I feel like I fall into the B one where I just don't even look like I know what I'm reading. But I feel like if you're that person who says, well, I think I did some reading. To be honest with you, I didn't read it all, but I did read. And then you start going, and I know there's some of you listening who are waiting for this opportunity for me to say it, and then for you to go, well, kind of piggybacking off Dom said, it kind of reminded me of what I was going to say. I know there's some of you on here listening. You may be driving, you may be doing something, working out, whatever, listening. But I know deep down you're smiling because I know you're the second person who tries to piggyback off. To piggyback off what Dom said, I think when I read that page, it's all kind of coming back to me. That did happen. It's like you never really like contribute anything. You just kind of just echo what I say in a way. And believe me, I'm BSing too, so I'm also there with you. But I think that's funny. Yeah, so that was something to be reckoned with, and something that else happened to me that was pretty dramatic, I'll be honest with you. I was walking around Seattle, and I was sent to go find stuff. This was about a month ago. And there was a lot of people walking around Seattle, and little did I know Frank Ocean was walking around. I didn't get to see him, but he was walking around that day, that people said, allegedly. And I had to go to the bathroom. And I'll be honest, it took me a while to find a place that would let you go number 2, because nowadays people don't want people using their bathrooms, which I somewhat get in the city. It's like, hey, if you're going to be like shooting up in there, shitting on the walls, we don't want you in there anyway. That's how I think. I get it. But I also think it's fucked up for the people who are messed up. Sorry for swearing. This like the second time this time. That it's messed up for people who are just trying to go to the bathroom. Anyway, I go into the bathroom, and it's at this mall. And this mall is kind of run down, I'll be honest with you. They used to have a heyday back then in Seattle days, but it doesn't anymore. I go to the bathroom. All the stalls are broken. Like the doors, they don't lock. And the toilet was probably sat maybe at least my 2 legs away from the door. It was actually pretty far. But it was a stall, so it was pretty far. And it wasn't a handicap stall. I'm not that guy. Anyway, it doesn't shut. So I'm like, well, I have my bag. I'm going to kind of lean it against the bottom of the stall, because in every stall in Seattle, for some reason, you're able to just see someone take a crap right in front of you. The door really just kind of just barely covers you, top and bottom. It's not one of those tall ones yet. They haven't gotten that far in the infrastructure in Seattle, I guess, apparently. Or everybody in Seattle was like 4 feet tall, I guess. That's what they thought. Anyway, so I'm taking a number 2. I'm sitting there kind of just like, oh my God, I hope nobody comes in. Somebody knocks on the stall. Barely a tiniest knock can move the door. And I'm just like, someone's in here. And that person's like, oh, there's a bag there. All right, whatever. So now, as I'm going, the stall door is somewhat still open, about maybe a fourth. It's like open now, but there's a bag there. So it still looks like somebody's there. If somebody had some common sense, they'd be like, oh, he can't walk into this one because there's somebody in there. There's a bag there, so I'm not gonna. People don't think like that. I'm sitting there still, trying to hurry up because I'm, no one likes to be number 2. You're in a defenseless position. You're sitting down with your pants down. It's not the most fun place to be. And I'm in Seattle, downtown Seattle, so there's lots of people who gotta go. Anyway. Another guy comes in, knocks, and leaves. And then the door's open just a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, now the door is damn near halfway open, but my bag's there. Moments go on. Some guy opens the door, because at this point it's halfway open. And I said, yo, someone's in here. And this guy proceeds to get mad at me. This was all within a minute and a half, by the way. There's people coming in to take a number 2. Just they had to go. All of a sudden, it was just everybody's clocks turned, or they just walked into Barnes & Noble and had to go. That's basically... And the guy got mad. He said, yo, what the hell, man? Close the damn door when you're taking a number 2. He said that. And he said number 2. He didn't say, shit or anything. He said number 2. And I just sat there, and I put my hands up bro, I told you somebody was in here. And he's, cussing on his way out. Because that was more embarrassing for him, not me, the guy who was down there taking a crap. And he's acting as if he was the victim. Pour him another one. Sign him up for some AA or something. Because he had a tall can in his hand. He's definitely had some beer craps going on, man. And I get it, man. That's not something to be making fun of. I understand people struggle with alcoholism. But you know what? With alcoholism comes the the beer shits. And I don't know that. That's from secondhand. I could say I can hear. I've heard that. But yeah, man, it's been a crazy time. Election times are here, man. Election times are here. People are offering to, hey, do you need a ride? Can I get you a coffee? Yeah, semi-general. It's coming up. You know, that's just what it is. General counsel comes around certain times a year. People start saying, oh, you know, yeah, I need to start bettering myself. And it's always around general counsel time. It's never around, hey, when there's nothing going on. It's always around this time. Yeah, I think I need to go down to the basketball court down the road and switch out a couple of the nets. Maybe weed eat around the basketball court. You mind recording me? Yeah. Put it on Facebook. You know, no reason. No reason. Just thought maybe, you don't have to take a picture if you don't want to. Like I just thought maybe going to bring all the kids a whole bunch of snacks and, everything would be just something nice to do. I mean, if you don't want to get it on camera, whatever, I'm doing it for whatever, but whatever. Everyone always wants a picture taken at those things. My challenge to everybody, my challenge is do something nice without putting or talking about it or posting it. I'm sure there's a lot of people who can do that. That's for sure. God, I had somewhere I was going with that. I don't really know where I was going to go with it. But yeah, other than that, things been going pretty good here. The res is still the res. People still putting no drama on the party thing. And that's the thing. If you put no, Dom's event here, location here, what to bring, who will be there, and then you put no drama on the poster. I'm just saying, as soon as you type out no drama or you put no drama on any poster, the drama just goes to that place. I don't know what it is. One of the 4 directions just says, hey, go over there, and just that's where the drama is going to be. It's like, how dream catchers are basically, they catch your bad dreams. When you put no drama, that just brings in the drama to me. And I was never much of a party guy, so I don't really know much about it. But I went to birthday parties, and here's my rule. When I go to a birthday party and the family is still there of the person who is having the party, that is when I'm there. As soon as the second oldest auntie leaves the party, that's when I'm about to leave. And that's just how I've been thinking for a long time. When the oldest auntie leaves, they leave probably a little earlier because, they got to get there. They got to get home. It's still late for them. But when the second oldest auntie leaves, maybe the third oldest auntie or third oldest uncle leaves, that's when I'm leaving. But, here's the thing. The uncles will try to stay like they're part of the gang. And I'll be honest, sometimes it's time for them to go early, but they stay as if they're the youngins. The aunties leave at a pretty decent time. But, I hope everyone's been doing good, man. I've been staying busy at this new job. I've been very thankful. And I hope everyone else is staying grateful and thankful. I'm very glad to be here. I'm going to be bringing in some more moments from the show. But yeah, man, anything else that I can really think of, man? Especially, I was trying to think of something on the res and I kind of lost it. But it will come to me and I'll bring it out on the next episode. But yeah, man, I hope you guys have a great one. I will see you guys next week or next 2 weeks. But from here on out, I'll see you guys then. Hoyt.